All right, real quick, everybody, I want to get into this 2020 and what it actually means. It means a lot of things. Everything means a lot of things. There's not one thing that only means one thing, okay? Everything, one thing, means everything. Why? Because everything is interconnected to each other. Just like all the words in the dictionary. All those words, once you go look up what one word means, it use 1,000 other words to describe what that word means. You see what I'm saying? Because all things are connected one way or another, right? Okay, so right now, I want to show you guys what 2020 means. So you guys can get a deeper understanding or a more broader perspective of what we're actually looking forward to right now, okay? So 2020, what a lot of people don't know about 2020 is that number one, 2020 marks off the age of Aquarius, okay? That's what it is representation of. I'm not saying that it's on point. I'm not saying it's perfectly on timing. I'm saying that is the symbolism, that is the marker for the age of Aquarius. So they said it to be, right? Okay, so what I want you guys to understand here is what 2020 is in symbolism once you decode it, okay? Now, yes, 2020 vision is one of the things that it's supposed to mean, okay? We're finna see a lot of things right now. It's not finna be all good. It's finna be half good and half bad. The reason why is because the bad was holding the good hostage, meaning the truth was being held back from you, right? Okay, so you finna see a lot of ugly stuff come to the surface when we see this truth at the same time. You know, because that's what it's coming out of burial of. It's coming out of the burial of all these lies, you know, of all this evil, of all this darkness, you know what I mean? So, what is 2020? And how does 2020 represent and symbolize the age of Aquarius? All right, now let me show you. 2020, they're just numbers, okay? Well, if you take them numbers and pull them around, what you're going to see is that you take the 0 and the 0 and you set them on top of each other and they make a number 8, okay? It'll be a number 8. And then you take the 2 2s and it's going to be 22, okay? So right there you have 822. So 822 on the heavenly zodiac wheel, the map of the heavens, right? On that energy wheel, y'all hear them helicopters? They like me a lot, okay? But listen, that wheel, the zodiac wheel, if you go to 822 on the zodiac wheel, it's going to take you to Leo Virgo, okay? Leo Virgo is representative of the mother and the son, Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary, right? That's where 822 is. Like I told you guys, 2020 is to mark off the age of Aquarius, right? Okay, so if you go to 822, which is 2020, once you decode it, once you go to 822 on the zodiac wheel, which that 822 is Leo Virgo, which is the son and the mother, Virgin Mary, right? Well, go right across from it. Go right across from it. It's opposite sign, right? And you're going to have Pisces and Aquarius. Okay? You're going to have Pisces and Aquarius. So basically what we have here is Jesus in quantum form, or should I say light form, right? As the sun. We only got one sun on the zodiac wheel, right? Which sits in the center, which is this Leo is number 5 from the beginning of the year, which is the Aries. So there's only one sun sign on here, so Jesus represented the sun, right? So there he is in quantum form, right? In the form of light, right? And he's going into his mom to be born and to be given a body, right? So here he is being born, go right across from the Virgin Mary, which is she's pregnant with the son, right? go right across from Virgin Mary, and you got the age of Pisces. This is where Jesus was born at, right? So here you got his pregnant mom, and here you got his birth in the age of Pisces. So Jesus also died in the age of Pisces, and he was said to return. Now that return was supposed to be at 2020, at the age of Aquarius. Now he's coming back to pour out the water and set the record straight and give the world the wisdom again, to where the world can heal itself. You see what I mean? And notice that he's pouring out the feminine, the mother waters, okay? So the truth that he's about to bring back is the truth of the feminine, okay? The mother waters. So when he returned, yes, he's bringing back the truth of the mother waters, but he's bringing it back as the very sun he was in the beginning. And this is going to be the sun that's going to put everything back in its place. The heat, the fire from the sun, the same reason they're trying to block out the sun, you see? This is all connected into this right here, what I'm showing you. 2020 is the return of the sun, the return of the truth. And that sun is fit to have his way with the enemy. And it's fit to have his way with his children. Okay? So, let it be. So be it. So, now you have it. This is how 2020 represents 822. And I'm showing you that the very birth of Jesus between the mother and the son is also connected to the opposite side. The sun is connected with the Aquarius, which is himself, and the birth, the Virgo, is connected to the Pisces, which is the actual birth, which also have to do with waters, right? The mother, waters, which is, she's an earth sign, and then you got Pisces, which is a water sign. You see? So the earth, mother earth, and the waters. You see what I'm saying? And now you got the Aquarius pouring out the waters, pouring out the truth of the film, the truth of the birth, your birth, our birth, the so-called Jesus birth. So another thing I want to show you guys about the 822 that also have to do with my other video, which is Star Yoke, how I'm showing you guys about the intertwining of the snakes, right? Well, the 8, which is also an infinite sign, the 8 is also the serpents crossing up like this, okay? That's what the 8 is, all right? The 22 is snakes doing like this, sideways, 22, 2, 2, 2. You see? This is all symbolism, okay? I just want to show you guys the aspect of that because the serpent is the infinite sign, and it's also the spiritual sign, how the energy spiral within you. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to show you guys that that was also in the numbers that is decoded from 2020 to 822, and also the serpents, which is the serpents aren't bad. It's a representation of the very essence of your being, the central of your being, okay? So I hope you guys getting all this, I'm just throwing it in there and throwing it out there. You guys do your research and make out of it what you do. You see? I'm not here to make you believe me. I'm just here to show you some things. And that's it. And you do with them what you choose to do with them. So now you guys can understand more than just people telling you it's the age of awakening and it's a 2020 vision. I agree with all that too. But I want you guys to know moreover, it's actually a birth date on the zodiac wheel, which represents the return of the Most High, or shall I say, the truth in itself, shall be known amongst all men. You see? And whatever they want to do from there, then so be it. But the truth will be out for all to know. And if you guys want to keep on falling for what Satan want to do, then that's what's going to happen. But know one thing, that you guys got the truth to choose, okay?
The number 7 has always been regarded as the number of perfection, spiritual perfection. Well, what about those numbers that follow it? If 7 is all comes to spiritual perfection, why do we need 8 and 9? And by the way, the number 8 represents a new beginning. Why? I think we can find the reason why in the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. There are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, and they represent cycles of 7 letters each. Gary Stimman is here to discuss with me the cryptic design of the Hebrew alphabet.
And it does have a design, and the design shows in the Word of God. And I just happen to have my Bible open to Psalm 119, and if you've ever looked at Psalm 119, you know that it's divided into 22 sets of 8 verses each. Each of those sets is a letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it's a celebration of the Word of God. You have the Aleph, and you have the expression, Thy Word have I hid in my heart. You have the Bet, and the Gimel, and the Dalet. And in each letter, you have an expression similar to that. For example, in the Gimel, I keep Thy Word. In the Dalet, according to Thy Word. 22 times, J.R., the Bible uses a letter of the Hebrew alphabet to celebrate the Word of God.
Yes.
Well, the rabbis call this the Word of creation. That is, the alphabet, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet by which God spoke existence into, or creation into existence.
Mm-hmm. When he said, let there be light.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Word of God
Yes.
that made such a statement. But I want you to notice, please, these 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet that we have here before us. And I'd like for you not to look at it and say, boy, that looks like Greek to me. We're not going to take you that far so that you'll completely lose what we're trying to say to you. What I want you to see, at least in the introduction of this study, is that these 22 letters represent levels or harmonics. For example, here are the first 7 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin. And those 7 letters lay out the basic spiritual perfection. But when you get to the 8th letter, what you have is a harmonic of the first letter. We have the Het, the Tet, the Yot, the Kaf, the Lamed, the Mem, and the Nun. And each one of them is a harmonic of the letter that you see below. When we get to the 3rd level, the Samik, Ayin, Pei, Zadi, Chof, Resh, and Shin, you have a 3rd harmonic of the 1st level. So what we have here in the Het is another Aleph, but it's on a higher level. Gary, I think we could explain that in a number of ways. For example, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are 7 days of the week. When you get to the 8th day, what do you have?
Yeah, another one, a new beginning.
You have Sunday all over again,
Sunday all over again.
That's not the same Sunday as it was here represented by the Aleph. The Het here represents the next Sunday. Nevertheless, it is Sunday. And it is the same day, though it is 7 days apart. And so this is a harmonic or a repeat of the first one, but it shows a progression in time. So it is on another level.
As a matter of fact, in the Old Testament as well as the New, the number 7 is always given as the number of completion. That is, if you have a set of 7 of anything, for example, a set of 7 lamps in the temple menorah, that's a complete set of something. And so that if you add 1 to that, you begin a new set. As a matter of fact, the number 8 in Hebrew is Shemini, and that comes from the Hebrew root shemon, which means fatness or superabundance. So the 8th then is a superabundance of the first. You can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shemini, which is 8th, is the number of superabundance or fatness, or as you said a minute ago, it's kind of a higher level of the first.
Yes. Now, what makes this alphabet divine is the fact that all the other alphabets in the world are a corruption of this alphabet. And this alphabet right here, because we see that these 22 letters, in our English alphabet we have 26.
Sure.
But there were originally 22, and they are a series of 7 on the first level, 7 on the second level, 7 on the third level, and then the the Tav right here, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, has a little foot on it that sticks out into the future. It's as if this Tav is stepping out and to continue the cycle as it goes on and on and on. Let me give another example. We have here 3 levels of 7 letters each, and then the 4th level, the concluding letter of the alphabet, appears to launch us out in the future to continue this cycle. We talked about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and here we have Sunday again, Monday again, Tuesday again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have Sunday again, Monday again, Tuesday again, and so on. And we have Sunday again moving out into another week of unknown proportions because it represents eternity. But we have another way we can look at this. This Aleph, for example, could represent a musical note, sound, or sound waves. I'll give you an example here. I'm going to hit this letter. Let's say it represents the Aleph. And then the Beit here would represent the next one. Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin. And when you get to the Het, you have an octave of the first one.
Same note, but higher.
That's right, same note. You go up another octave, you come up here to the Samik. It is an octave of the Het, which is an octave of the Aleph.
Okay, and let's just illustrate that. And we're going to do this as easily, and so don't get worried. We're looking at Hebrew letters that look like, as JR said, it's all Greek or whatever, Chinese. It's not that difficult. Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, stands for God as creator and king. In other words, it's the symbol of God. Starts everything. And we might say that this is the Elohim of Genesis, Aleph.
Yeah. Just
everything that God is. Okay, where would you expect to go then if you went up an octave from that Aleph? We go up, in other words, 7 notes or 7 letters.
If this one represented God.
Then you go up.
This one would represent
what?
God.
Well, it would represent God again.
We go up 7 more, it represents
God again.
God.
And finally, the 22nd letter, God.
Again.
But each time it's a higher expression of God. And in fact, that's exactly what we find when we look at the meanings of these letters, because the 8th letter, Het, is the letter that represents the number 8. It represents transcendence,
a new beginning,
divine grace, new beginning,
new birth. Grace, as you said there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But let's go now to another octave higher, the letter Samik. Samik represents divine support and protection.
And presence.
And a kind of, a presence that surrounds the believer. Divine presence. One letter, however, is out there by itself on our chart. We have this last, the 22nd letter is up on a line all by itself, raising the question. If everything in God's perfection is expressed in 7s, then why wouldn't there just be 21 letters in the Hebrew alphabet? Why is there an extra letter, 22? And even then, JR, we find something fascinating.
Yeah.
What we find is that here is expressed eternity. Because if you take 7, for example, the 7s of the book of Revelation, we talk about the 7 spirits of God and the 7 seals and vials and trumpets and all those 7s in Revelation. Did you notice Revelation has 22 chapters?
Yeah.
The same basic design feature. And if you take the number 22 and divide by 7, you come out with 3.14, which is the coefficient that squares the circle. It's called pi, and pi speaks of eternity. That is circularity, something going on,
continuing the cycle
forever, a continuing cycle.
So if we ended with 21 letters, if this was the last letter, the Shin here, then we wouldn't have anywhere else to go. But since we have the Tav, the 22nd letter, a harmonic of Aleph, Het, and Samik, that means the cycle continues and continues and continues.